Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of the Mixed Media Miniseries with collage intros. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the things that you can do with collage and mixed media. In our materials overview, we kind of talked about the potential for using collage to reskin objects or like cover the surface in them and give them new patterns. So some of the things that we had talked about, the potential for collaging included sketchbooks or scrapbooks, some boxes like gift boxes. We talked about magnets, but we didn't touch on them, and the potential to use thrift store art and frames. We also talked about potentially doing masks and skateboards, and so those videos are going to be coming up shortly. I just want to start with the actual method of collage. So once you've selected all of your magazines and the paper that you want to work with to collage, the materials that you're going to need include scissors, an X-Acto pen. If you have them, you can pick them up at the dollar store. They're a really great tool. You're going to need cardboard or a surface of some kind to collage onto, and potentially a ruler if you want to draw straight lines. So once you've gathered all of your materials that you want to collage, be it magazines, fabric, or other things, you're going to want to find a surface such as the cardboard or the book or the picture frame that you want to use as a foundation to collage onto. The next thing you're going to need is your white glue, a small bowl, and a brush to be able to pour the glue into, and a damp rag to be able to wipe your brush between layers of glue. Once you have all those things, we're going to start by painting the glue onto the surface with our paintbrush, putting a nice even coat, and then sticking our paper on top. Once you've stuck down the paper that you want to collage with, then you're going to want to go back and smooth it all down so that way none of your edges are like lifting up. That's collage for pretty much every surface that you're going to be working on. So these are some of the collages that I've actually done. All of these were done with cardboard, tissue paper, and magazines with an additional element of typescript. So I have a typewriter that I work with, and I decided that I was going to add text to these. So I began by cutting up all of my cardboard to the specific sizes and then glued my pages down like as you saw with the paintbrush, and then added my typescript at the end. On the back of this one you can see that I actually labeled it and dated it and signed it with the typewriter because I just thought it was a really good archival tool to use. I really liked the cherries and the way the glass was exploding, and I liked the idea of putting a one sentence that was completely ambiguous as to what it meant. The next one is a technique where I used strips. So I found these numbers in a book where it was like pictures of, the numbers 1 to 9, and I cut them into strips and then spaced them out a little tiny bit. I used a piece of tissue paper with a guy and a girl on it, a photo of a train, and then again the typescript, because I thought that the typescript was just a really great kind of thought-provoking sentence to put in there. You can see on the back that I kind of folded it around the edges and then taped the back of it so that way when I put my painter's tape on that there would be no chance of it ripping off. The next one that I used again the stripe material, or the striping technique, where I just kind of cut my orange up into a bunch of little strips and then spaced them out on a white paper background. I thought that the white and the orange was like a really great color scheme to use because it was just really simple. And then on the back of it, I actually glued the preface to an Oscar Wilde book and laminated it with packing tape. And then I put my painter's tape over top of that. The biggest of these pieces is something where I used astronomy magazine cutouts, and then I also used a cutout from an art magazine that looks like somebody's drawing, and I cut out like a little square of it and separated it to kind of create an interesting piece of geometry. I also glued a whale that was made out of repurposed plastic. I think it might have been lawn chairs by Brian Jungen, and then I put somewhere there's a small miscalculation on it because I thought it was funny. You can see again that I kind of folded it over the back to glue it, and it's a really nice method because it gives you nice clean edges. I just wrote on the back of this one, and I noted at the bottom whale that the whale is by Brian Jungen. Yeah, so these were done 3 years ago, and for the most part they were all done with just cardboard, white glue, and magazines. So there's a lot of potential that you can do with just the cardboard, white glue, and magazines, and so I'm hoping that the things that we kind of talked about with the other walkthroughs will give you some ideas of materials and papers that you can use in your day-to-day, whether it's scrapbooking paper or, Christmas wrapping tissue paper, stuff like that, that you can repurpose to make some art out of the things that are around you as well. If you like this content, like and subscribe. Feel free to leave some feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts.